Dear friends, today I am going to discuss the second part of an operating system, Macintosh operating system. That Macintosh operating system is also called as the Apple operating system. Okay, that is work for the Apple computer. First commercially available OS with point and click technology, graphical user interface. Started, as I have said, that excellent in graphics display, processing capabilities, system reliability, file backup utilities, and document recovery. As you see that graphical work can work nicely, processing speed were fast, system will not corrupt quickly with the virus or any other harmful things, file backup were made easily, and document recovery can be done. Although Apple Macintosh operating system and the Windows operating system are not compatible, they are similar in terms of functionality. Both are functionally same but different. In 1984, the Macintosh operating system becomes the first commercially available operating system incorporate the user-friendly point and click technology in a commercially affordable computer. Both operating systems now have similar Windows work areas on the desktop that house individual applications and support users working in more than an application at a time. They can work starting with the Macintosh operating system, and now it is work with the Windows also. Fewer software applications available than for Windows means the few ones, not all selective programs can run in the Macintosh operating system, but most of them are run on the Windows operating system. Next operating system is the Linux. It is an open source operating system, means available openly. You can download it. And based on the UNIX, their interface is quite different. Stable system, not corrupted easily, and available free of cost. And you can download it from internet, but data is required. In 1991, a Finnish graduate student named Linus Torvalds decided he would create a UNIX-like operating system that could run on an Intel processor. One student named as Linus Torvalds, who decided to make an operating system which is based on UNIX. His product called Linux was offered for free to developers around the world and has been upgraded and improved continuously since then. Regularly it has been improved. Time to time update will come in the market. As Linux is an open source operating system, meaning that anyone can obtain the code for free and alter it free of cost. You can download it from the internet by accepting the agreements, right? Means you can follow the instructions which has been given and abide by the rules and regulation of that Linux operating system. Accordingly you can do the work. Today Linux is gaining the reputation as a stable operating system that is not subject to crash and failure. Windows has been crashed. Sometimes it will be failure, but Linux were not. The reason behind that, their encryption were not decoded by every people. They can make the virus and infect them. You can download it from the internet easily and install in your computer system. Now the next one is operating system for server and mainframe. Definitely, the operating system we are used for the server and mainframe are different. For the server, normally we will manage the network resources, and in mainframe we will handle requests from hundreds or thousands of users simultaneously. Both are the different. Server where manages the network resources, printer, monitor, keyboard, mouse, applications, software, etc. Limited resources are there. While in case of mainframe, they will handle the resources and hundreds or thousands of computers, their resources, their operating systems, and them or they are required the specific operating system, and normally they are using the Windows Server or UNIX. Okay. Next is UNIX operating system. As I was said that it is categorized under the multi-user multitasking operating system, used primarily with the mainframe. At the starting they were used for the mainframe computer system only, but later on it has been available for the normal people or general users also. Developed, that Unix operating system were developed in 1969 by Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell Labs. Okay, the Unix code was initially not proprietary. Rather, any programmer was allowed to use the code and modify it to meet his or her needs. Then in the beginning, that Unix operating system was developed. On that time, any users can change their programming codes. But later on, they will be met restriction to no one can change, and they will run whatever the program has been, operating system programs has been given to the users. Accordingly, they will abide by the rules and do accordingly. And difficult or not allowed the users to they can use to change. Now come to the what the OS does. Means operating system, we have learned operating systems are required, but what they are doing with the computer system. The operating system provides a way for the user to interact with the computer, manages processor, that is the CPU, manages the primary, that is the RAM and ROM, also manages the storage, manages the computer system's hardware and peripheral devices, and provides a consistent means of software application to work with the CPU. Means they can manage the hardware and software nicely and coordinates with the application software with the CPU. Means how they will work and run. Now they come to the things which comes out after that, the user interface. User interface means the how the user can interact with that operating systems. Means they are using, they are applying with that OS. That is the meaning of the interface. Enables you to interact with the computer. Types of interface: command driven interface, menu driven interface, and graphical user interface. In this video I was told you that CUI and GUI. Here now times to understand what is CUI, GUI and MDI. Okay. The first one is command driven interface. The command driven interface means we can give them commands. Users can give the commands and accordingly they will do the work. Right, CUI In that one, it is very difficult you can operate the different graphical features. This interface was later improved by incorporating a menu-driven interface in which the user chooses a command from menus displayed on the screen. Okay, initially only the commands you can give, but later on the menus has been also applied in that one. In 1990s or up till 1995, Microsoft DOS operating system was available. Right, also they can work, few ones are working. In that one only you can give the command. Okay, no menus are there, file or etc. But later on, the menus has been introduced. Then that menus introduced is known as menu-driven interface. Menu-driven interface eliminated the needs to know every command because you could select most of the commonly used command from a menu. However, they were still not easy enough for most people to use. In CUI, we should have to remember or recall the commands, then we can operate. Later on, the menus has been implemented. In that menu will be used selected commands. Still, it is not very easy to use. Later on, they were introduced the graphic user interface. That is easy to handle, easy to operate, because the commands are on the tips. They can operate easily and it is more user friendly. And the best example is Windows operating system. As per my experience, the Windows is better than these CUI and MDI, command driven interface and menu driven interface, because I can easily handle that, I can easily work on it, operate that particular program. Processor management, how the processor will manage with the operating system. They will manage the interrupts, interrupt handler, interrupt table and stack. Although the CPU is the brain of computer, as we all know that, it needs the OS to arrange for the execution of all its activities in a systematic way. OS can help them to the processor, so they can arrange all types of activities which can be performed by the computer system. The OS assigns a slice of its time to each activity requires the CPU attention. The OS then switches between processor thousands of times a second, so it appears that everything is happening seamlessly. Accordingly, the operating system will manage. They will give them the instruction. The processor can do the work easily. Sometimes it's happened to be hang the computer system. That is also a reason behind that operating system. Processor is the same. There is no fault in the processor. There is the problem with the operating system through the task. When the OS allows you to perform more than one task at a time, it is said to be multitasking. As you see that if number of tasks you are opening on that time, the operating system will not working properly or smoothly. For that time being, that OS is required for a good function. For example, I am telling you that, for example, assumes you are typing and you want to print a file. When you tell your computer to print the file, the printer generates a signal called interrupts that tells the OS it is in need attention. On that time, interruptions were active whenever you are giving the command to the printer. Means he give the attention to the CPU, interrupts them. Oh, you will ready. Now you can ready that. Then every device has its own type of interrupt, all types of activators, their own, which is associated with the interrupt handler, which can be available with the driver, right? A special numerical code that characterizes the request. These requests are placed in the interrupt table in RAM. That code which has been under the installer, that is the software of that hardware or that application that can be interact with the RAM, right? That is interrupt table RAM. And they will do the task, that is CPU is typing actively. When it receives the interrupt from the printer and put a memo in a special location in RAM called stack. Means when they are giving the instructions to the CPU or the RAM, the special place will be there which can respond to them and give the instruction to the control unit of a processing unit, so they can activate and process them. Then this particular place of the RAM or the processor is known as stack, which is responsible for the retrieving the memo, which is typically, and return the value to them, to which type of response they want. And this type of interruption and stacks where work combined together and give us the output accordingly. The next is memory and processor management. The operating system allocates space in RAM for instruction and data. What type of instructions has been given by the users? Operating system will give them a place, the storage area in the RAM, where you can allocate. See that in the figure, you can assume that the first time the data will become, the different stacks were there. In that stacks, they will fill where is required the stacks in the system, the CPU, the RAM, they will placed over there. Afterwards, where is again requirements, interruption and stacks were doing communication. In these three figures, first two figures where interrupting and stacking work will be there going on, and afterwards the finalizing the work, they will store, they will occupy the memory, and accordingly they will work. This is the whole scenario of the operating system. Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos, and if you will like this video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. Thank you very much.